My dear golden elders, let me ask you a gentle but serious question today. Have you ever wondered why so many of our elders live strong and vibrant into their 70s, sometimes even into their early 80s, but then, after 85, their health seems to suddenly fall apart? It's as though there's a turning point, and many of our beloved seniors pass away shortly after. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be this way. Many of these early losses are not because the body has expired, but because of certain avoidable mistakes in lifestyle, mindset, and daily habits. And today, my dear friends, we will walk together through these mistakes, one step at a time, in a calm and thoughtful way. For the next few minutes, we'll reflect deeply. We'll share wisdom. And I'll also share a touching story of an elder I knew, an American gentleman whose life taught me many lessons about aging well and about what happens when we do not. So sit back, relax, maybe grab a warm cup of tea, and let's journey together on the mistakes that make most seniors pass away after 85. One is the delicate years after 85. Now let us begin here. Why does 85 feel like a cliff for so many? Doctors and researchers tell us that by 85, our body's natural reserves, the ability to bounce back from illness, injury, or stress, are greatly reduced. I've seen many elders who remain alert, strong, and graceful past, and even past 100, but I've also seen others who seem to fade away much earlier than they needed to. What makes the difference? It comes down to choices, dear friends. Choices we make in how we eat, how we move, how we think, how we connect with others, and how we handle the little daily things that occur around us. That has to do with our daily habits. Second mistake is stopping movement. The second and the greatest mistake that brings many elders down after 85 is stopping movement. You see, when the muscles weaken, everything else weakens. The heart, the lungs, even the mind. I knew an elder who once told me, "The day I stopped walking was the day I started dying." And he was right. Even a short daily walk, even gentle stretching, dancing, or gardening can keep the body alive and awake. Without it, stiffness sets in, bones thin, balance falters, and one small fall can take everything away. The third mistake is loneliness. The third mistake, dear friends, has to do with withdrawing from others. After 85, many elders lose friends, a spouse, or siblings. They feel alone, and loneliness, believe me, is as dangerous as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. The heart grows weak not only from lack of blood flow, but from lack of love flow. We are made to laugh with others, to share stories, to hold hands. Without this, the spirit gives up. And when the spirit gives up, the body soon follows. Now let me share with you the story of a friend I once knew. He is Mr. Harold, an American elder from Ohio. Mr. Harold was a strong man in his younger days. He served his country, raised a family, and worked hard in his community. In his 70s, he was still full of life. He loved fishing. He loved his morning walks. And oh, how he loved his wife, Margaret. But when Margaret passed away, Harold changed. He stopped going out. He stopped cooking for himself. He told his children he was fine, but really he sat most days in his chair, watching television, barely eating, barely moving. By 85, Harold looked 20 years older. His balance grew weak. He fell one evening while walking to the bathroom and broke his hip. Now we all know what happens to many elders after a hip fracture. It's often the beginning of a slow decline. Harold never regained his full strength. His mind grew foggy, his body weakened, and within 2 years he passed away. I often think, what if Harold had kept walking? What if he had joined a community center after Margaret passed? What if he had reached out for companionship instead of withdrawing? Perhaps he would have lived not just longer, but better. And that, dear friends, is why we share these lessons today, to prevent our own lives or the lives of those we love from going the same way. Let's continue. Beyond movement and loneliness, there are other mistakes elders often make after 85. Ask, do I still need this pill? Can the dose be lowered? Can I manage this with diet or lifestyle instead? Never add supplements, herbs, or new pills without checking first. Even natural remedies can mix dangerously with prescribed drugs. And please don't be shy. Remember, the doctor works for you, not the other way around. Too many pills, not enough monitoring. This has led many good elders into confusion, falls, hospital stays, and sadly, early death. But it doesn't have to be that way. With careful attention, with wise questions, and with courage to speak up, you can prevent this mistake. If you are still listening to me, kindly type 1 in the comment so that I know you are still here with me. Now, my dear golden elders, let's talk about 6th mistake that quietly shortens the lives of many seniors after 85, and that is skipping meals. At first, it may not seem like a big deal. Some say, "Oh, I don't feel hungry anymore." Others say, "It's too much trouble to cook just for myself." And still, others may even skip meals because they want to avoid the cost or the effort of eating alone. But here's the truth. When you skip meals, your body begins to weaken faster than you realize. You see, after 85, the body is already more fragile. Muscles shrink more easily. Bones lose strength more quickly. And when you're not eating enough, you're not giving your body the fuel it needs to keep fighting, to keep repairing, to keep you standing tall. I remember an elder I once visited in a senior home. She was 89 years old and looked very frail. When the nurse asked her what she usually ate in a day, she softly replied, "Just a cup of tea in the morning, maybe some crackers at night." That was it. No fruits, no vegetables, no protein. And the truth was, her body was starving, even though she didn't feel hungry. She was tired all the time, her skin bruised easily, and her balance was poor. But once they gently reintroduced small, nourishing meals, soups, scrambled eggs, soft vegetables, and smoothies, her strength improved and her smile returned. The lesson, dear friends, is this. Even if your appetite is low, try to eat small but frequent meals. Focus on easy-to-digest, nutrient-rich foods, soups, stews, porridge, boiled eggs, yogurt, or smoothies. Don't eat only what is easy, like bread or crackers, because your body needs protein and vitamins to stay alive and strong. And whenever possible, eat with a loved one, maybe your spouse, children, family member, or even a caring caregiver of yours. A shared meal is not only food for the body, it's a good food for your soul. Skipping meals may seem harmless in the moment, but over time, it weakens the immune system, drains energy, increases the risk of falls, and sadly, shortens life. The 7th mistake is neglecting purpose. Now, dear golden elders, let us pause and reflect on something deeper than food, water, or even medicine, something invisible, yet so powerful that without it, life itself begins to slip away. That, my friends, is purpose. After 85, many seniors fall into the trap of believing they have finished their work. They say things like, "I've done my part. Now I'll just wait." And slowly, day after day, they wake up with nothing to look forward to, no reason to rise from the bed, no reason to smile, no reason to fight for another sunrise. But here is the truth. The body follows the spirit, and when the spirit no longer sees a reason to live, the body soon grows tired too. I once knew an elder who lived to 97. When people asked him his secret, he would laugh and say, "I plant tomatoes every spring." Imagine that. Something as simple as planting tomatoes gave him a reason to look forward, to plan, to nurture, to harvest. It wasn't about the tomatoes, of course. It was about the purpose. It was about waking up each morning knowing he still had something to give, something to care for, something to love. Contrast this with another elder I knew, who after losing her husband and retiring from her church duties, would sit day after day staring at the same window. She often whispered, "There's nothing left for me to do." And sadly, within just a few years her health declined and she passed away. You see, my dear friends, the difference was not in their years, it was in their purpose. So how can we, even after 85, find or keep our purpose? Here are a few gentle suggestions. Care for something living, a plant, a pet, or even helping tend to a grandchild when possible. Life caring for life creates energy. Share your wisdom, write down your stories, record your memories, or mentor someone younger. Your voice is needed. Take on a small project. Whether it's knitting, gardening, painting, or reading a new book, having a next step keeps the mind alert and hopeful. You can also serve in small ways, like a phone call to encourage someone, a prayer for a friend, a letter of thanks. These little acts ripple with meaning. Dear elders, never forget this. You are not finished until your very last breath. And as long as you wake up, God has given you one more day with a reason. Without purpose, the will to live fades. But with purpose, even a small, simple act, the flame of life burns brightly, no matter your age. The 8th mistake is resisting change. Let us talk about a mistake that hides quietly in the mind, but shows itself in the heart and the body. It is the mistake of resisting change. How many times have we heard our fellow elders around us saying, "Oh, I'm too old to learn that," or "That's for young people, not for me." You see, the human mind was made to keep learning until the very end. Just as a muscle grows weak when it's not used, so does the brain. When we stop challenging ourselves, when we stop learning new things, the brain slowly begins to dim. Memory fades, curiosity dries up, and the spark of life that keeps us engaged with the world begins to flicker. But here is the beauty. Even after 85, you can still grow. You can still learn. You can still laugh like a child discovering something new. I once heard of a 92-year-old woman who decided to learn how to paint. She had never held a brush before, but she said, "Why not? I want to try." Within a year, she had painted dozens of beautiful pictures, each one brighter than the last. Her family said she looked 10 years younger. Why? Because her spirit was alive with learning. And I know of another elder, 88 years old, who learned how to use video calls just so he could see his grandchildren every week. At first he was nervous. He said, "I don't understand these buttons." But with patience he mastered it, and oh, the joy on his face when he could see his little grandchild blowing kisses through the screen. Now imagine if both of them had said, "I'm too old for this." What a loss of happiness that would have been. So let me tell you this, dear friends. Try a new hobby, no matter how small. Read a new kind of book. Learn a new recipe. Pick up a new game. Or simply learn how to use one new feature on your phone or computer. Each new skill, each new lesson, each small change brings freshness to the soul. It reminds you that life is not finished. It is still unfolding. The truth is this: resisting change is like shutting the windows of your house and letting the air grow stale. But embracing change, even little, changes, opens the windows wide, and lets in fresh breezes of joy and vitality. So, dear golden elders, let us never say, "I'm too old." Instead, let us say, as long as I'm breathing, I can still learn, I can still grow, and I can still enjoy this beautiful gift of life. Now, dear golden elders, let me remind you, reaching 85 is not the end of the road. It is simply another milestone. Every day after that is a gift. And with the right habits, movement, hydration, connection, purpose, learning, you can stretch those days into years of quality life. I've seen 90-year-olds take up painting. I've seen 95-year-olds play with great-grandchildren. I've even heard of 100-year-olds who dance at birthday parties. So let us not fear our age number. Let us prepare wisely for it. Now, my dear friends, let me ask you, which point number resonates most deeply with your own life mistake? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because your wisdom might be the very thing another elder needs to hear today. And please, if you found value in today's reflection, give this video a like, so more seniors, more families, more caregivers can find it too.